Good morning, Joe Walker here. It's August 14th here at Glen and I'm on the first green. I just wanted to show you our collars are beginning to bleach out from the Bermuda grass spray that we did last week. We basically used our middle boom, which has 3 nozzles on it, but we reduced it down to 1 nozzle, basically about a 20 inch width pass, and sprayed our collars. Some of it didn't get quite as wide as it needed to, and then some of it got onto the green, which is where we have some encroachment. And it bleaches the Bermuda grass out. It's basically about an every 2 to 3 week spray, and 3 applications they recommend you to do in late summer, early fall, while the Bermuda grass is growing. You know, some of our collars don't have much contamination, and other parts pretty significant. But anyway, be 3 applications. Got another one here in a week and a half, 2 weeks. Hopefully this will at least set back the Bermuda grass, and then we can go in after around the 1st of September or so to mid-September and start. And on some of these areas we might have a little bit of void, so we can go in and do some seeding to try to improve the turf coverage. There is actually a lot of bent grass in Poa annua. See, I said it wrong. Poa. But in the collars, but you just don't see it because the Bermuda grass kind of covers it up. But as the Bermuda grass slowly subsides, that bent grass and Poa annua will come out, and you'll see it a little bit more. We also sprayed a product called 2%. And 2%, what it does, it prevents at each node there's a potential for a root to attach. So if you have a runner, you have multiple nodes along that runner, and what that does, it 2% works to prevent rooting. And so we're using that product as well. That's an old style product we used in the past with some success. So if you see some longer runners and they've been there for a while, what's happening is that it's not able to attach, and that's the great thing and the hideous thing about the Bermuda plant. It can attach, and if it gets cut or disconnected, it can attach itself and make another plant and another plant and another plant. So that's one of the survival techniques of it. So we're hopefully taking some of the survival out of it. But we have to try to stay close within the collar because we have zoysia grass, which is kind of susceptible to some of these sprays. As long as we're at the lighter end of it and try to keep our spray off of it, we might have to come back and do a little bit of backpack work along the edge. I always hate using backpacks along greens and on greens. I think many superintendents have killed a lot of grass using a backpack sprayer over the years, so they're just not calibrated as good as our spray equipment is that we use on greens. So, but you can get it down and properly spray, and it can work, especially if you're using out here on the taller grass on the edges. We've also had some work. I'll do a little video on the Bermuda grass in the fairways. It's starting to turn a little reddish, especially in the intermediates, and I'll show you that work here in another video in a few minutes while I'm changing holes today. It's a beautiful Friday, definitely summertime. Going to be not quite 90, maybe 90 today. Kind of humid. Of course, it's a little bit damp, but guys are cleaning all surfaces, and Becky's watering potted plants and cleaning up and doing a lot of work. One of the things I'd like to ask you to do is to refrain from pulling runners of the Bermuda grass, and then some of you like to pull the runners and then leave a little pile for us. Of course, you're not leaving a pile for us because we're probably not there to the next day, but you're leaving that for your other members to see and guess. So if you could refrain from pulling runners, let us do that. The mowers will kind of do that as they cut, as it kind of dissolves and kind of goes away. It just clutters the place up and doesn't make it look good, and plus you kind of damage the undergrass if you're really pulling a little too much and don't really know what you're doing besides just pulling Bermuda runners. So that would help us a great deal. Our over 100-year multi-stemmed sassafras is looking the greatest, but it's actually improved a little bit since we pruned some garbage out of it. But one of these days she's gonna blow over. Surprised it hasn't happened in the last 12 years. Have a great day.